Imagine a world without food in religious rituals. No communion bread. No Eid feasts. No sacred offerings in ancient temples. From the dawn of civilization, food has been far more than just sustenance, it has been a bridge between the human and the divine. But why? And what can archaeology and ancient texts tell us about this deep connection? Let's dive in. Food plays an essential role in religious ceremonies across cultures and throughout history. Whether it's the symbolic sharing of bread and wine in Christianity, the kosher dietary laws of Judaism, or the intricate food offerings in Hindu temples, what we eat and how we prepare it carries spiritual significance. Ancient societies understood food as a medium of communication with their gods, ancestors, and communities. Archaeological findings, from ancient Egyptian tomb offerings to the remains of ritual feasts in prehistoric settlements, provide tangible evidence of how food shaped belief. Meanwhile, historical texts such as the Bible, Quran, and Vedic scriptures reveal how food was prescribed, forbidden, and revered. But what do these insights tell us about our own relationship with food today? Let's start with the archaeological perspective. Temples, tombs, and ancient settlements hold fascinating clues about food's religious role. For example, in ancient Egypt, archaeologists have discovered bread and beer left in tombs, believed to nourish the deceased in the afterlife. The pyramids weren't just grand burial sites, they were stocked with food for eternity. Similarly, excavations in Mesopotamia reveal elaborate feasts dedicated to gods, where food was not only consumed but also ritually buried as an offering. In the Mayan world, cacao, yes, the source of chocolate, was considered sacred. Archaeologists have found evidence of cacao rituals in ceremonial vessels, suggesting it was a divine drink used in religious ceremonies. These discoveries show that food was more than just a necessity, it was a sacred currency, an offering of gratitude, and a pathway to the afterlife. Now, let's turn to ancient texts. Religious scriptures and historical records are rich with references to food's sacred role. In the Bible, the Last Supper establishes bread and wine as symbols of Christ's body and blood, an act that remains central to Christian rituals today. In Hinduism, the Bhagavad Gita emphasizes the importance of food as an offering to deities, with specific rituals like prasadam, where food is first offered to a god before being shared. Islam places immense significance on fasting during Ramadan, highlighting spiritual discipline and gratitude for sustenance. The Quran also details dietary laws, such as the prohibition of pork and alcohol, similar to kosher laws in Judaism, which dictate what is pure and permissible to eat. Different religions have unique sacred foods hold deep spiritual meaning. Christianity, bread and wine, Eucharist, symbolize the body and blood of Christ. Islam, dates are traditionally eaten to break the fast during Ramadan, following the example of Prophet Muhammad. Judaism, challah bread is eaten on the Sabbath, and matzah, unleavened bread, is central to Passover. Hinduism, prasadam, including sweets like laddu and modak, is offered to deities before being distributed to devotees. Buddhism, offerings of rice, fruits, and tea are made to monks and in temples as acts of generosity and devotion. Sikhism, kara prasad, a sweet wheat-based dish, is distributed as a blessing in gurdwaras. These texts and traditions show that food is not just physical nourishment, it is a means of purification, worship, and devotion. What does all this mean for us today? The rituals and traditions of the past still shape our modern world. From sharing meals during Christmas, Diwali, or Passover to fasting during Yom Kippur or Ramadan, the role of food in religious practice remains deeply embedded in our cultures. Even beyond organized religion, many people find spiritual meaning in food, whether it's mindful eating, gratitude before meals, or community feasting. Understanding the historical and religious roots of these traditions can deepen our appreciation of the food we eat today. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What are some religious or cultural food traditions you've experienced? Do you think food still holds the same spiritual significance today as it did in ancient times? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Food is more than fuel, it is memory, connection, and devotion. It has carried prayers across centuries, united communities, and shaped civilizations. Whether we look at archaeology or ancient texts, one thing is clear: food is sacred. And maybe, the next time you sit down for a meal, you'll see it as something more: a tradition, a symbol, a link to the past. If you enjoyed this journey through food history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep tasting history.